Christmas, and we're at that time of the year where we're thinking about the coming of Christmas and the Christmas story. And I'd like for us today to look at Christmas in just a little different way, as we look at Christmas through the eyes of the shepherds.
You would stay by the sheep, by the deer. No, you wouldn't. You wouldn't be yeah, I know you're a young man, you're going to be fine. You wouldn't let them go out in the thing with the things out there that may go on the top. It would be fine. Yes, it would be fine. Oh, excuse me.
Well, you're excused.
I was passing by, and I heard the beautiful music. Sounded like the bells from heaven. I heard the young man tell the story of my Yeshua, and I thought maybe you wouldn't mind I would share all of you. You know, everybody thinks in Israel it would be like a desert. But at the time when Yahweh sent my Yeshua, it was winter and it was cold, you know, and in the winter they take the big flock and you make the little flock. And you have one shepherd, I have each because there wouldn't be much gas. And so this night, we make a fold. I would show you. Excuse me, I'm a little bit. This would be like the fold. They would take some rocks and maybe some bolts and make like this. It would be like this. And the sheep would go in, you would be like the sheep. This would be like the sheep, and the shepherd would stand in the doorway like this, and you would guard, and he would take turns, and you have a little fire, and you have a little. And this night was my turn. I would watch the sheep with the head. And suddenly, in the sky was a light. And in the middle of the light was the most beautiful I ever saw. And he said, "Be not afraid." I was afraid. I thought I should do something. I was afraid. He said, "For unto you this night, in the city of David, born a Savior." Bless Yahweh for his faithfulness. Yahweh had told us so many years ago through the prophet Isaiah that he would send us as a root from Israel. And we thought, you know, if the God of Israel would think enough of us, the shepherds, that he would send us this news in this way, then maybe we should go by Bethlehem and see. So we took the little flock, maybe we went the big flock. We took the little, we went the baby went by Bethlehem, and on the baby was talking. How would Yahweh do this? How would Yahweh bring us Moshiach? I would explain. In my language would be Yeshua Ho Moshiach. In your would be Jesus the Messiah. Yeshua Ho Moshiach. And he was talking, how would Yahweh do this? And the people that was coming from the census, what the Quirinius, the governor from Syria, had called for the taxes, they said it was by a little Hebrew girl in my language would be Miriam. I think Mary. She was by her devotions. And God sent his angel to her and told her that she was blessed among women. That he would come on her and his spirit would overshadow her. She would bring forth a son and call him Emmanuel. Bless God for his faithfulness. And when we got by Bethlehem, because of the census, there were so many people that there was no room by the inn. And this is not such a good thing. In my time, The inn would not be motel seats. It wouldn't be like this. It would be like this. And there would be none of this, but this is what's in the light and not the bin. I wouldn't know what this is. And there would be none of this candle but don't smoke. There would be a hole in the ceiling there, in there, and they would build a fire, and the smoke would go up. And what they would do is they would take this family, and then they would take that family, and then they would take this family, and they would keep going till it was full, and then they would start over. It would be no place good for a little girl was going to make a baby. And the innkeeper, he was a kind man. He said, you would go to the place where my animals are, and you would stay there. And they did now. I would explain. In my time, this could be, I would show you. They would take sticks and put on the building, the hill, and then they would take the cloth and they would put the cloth and the animals would go underneath. Or it could be maybe a cape. We found out that it was the shepherds. And they went in. It was a little warmer because there was a donkey and there was some sheep in the floor. They had quite a shoe in the timber and wanted to hang from. But somehow you know, this was God. This was Yeshua. If we stay just a minute, we wouldn't stay in the presence of God and we worship. If we look upon Him. And he left. And he went back to the field, to the flocks. The field was different. He had seen the Son of God. And we heard afterwards they would take Yeshua to the temple 8 days from birth. For the briefs. I wouldn't know the word. And the briefs. And then they walked by. But the old man named Simeon had waited his whole life for Yeshua. He waited by the gate. We would make these together. He said, he waited, and somehow he knew. And Joseph and Mary came with Yeshua. Somehow he knew. He stood up. And they handed Yeshua. His old man. And he said, Lord, you're now looking and see the salvation from the Lord. This old man knew my Yeshua. I know my Yeshua. I would ask you, would you know my Yeshua? If you don't, you have a hope. This nice young man, he would help you. Let me, I will teach you from my language. I say by you, Shabbat Shalom. You say by me, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. This would mean Sabbath peace. And I will give this peace upon you. I have to go. Isaac, not good with the sheep. Thank you.
Thank you, and come back anytime.